When an old white woman holds up a racist sign and there's backlash, we know that she's the one to blame, right? Right? This is a follow-up of our hit video about those teenage boys from Loudoun County, Virginia who got suspended and slapped with a Title IX violation for being recorded in the boys' locker room by a girl. It's allowed to happen because the girl identifies as a boy, which means this is a trans issue. Lieutenant Governor Wiinsome Sears spoke at a rally defending the boys, and she's against the girl being in a boy's space and boys being in a girl's space. She's also running for governor. There were protests in solidarity with the girl and her right to be in a boy's locker room, and at that rally, this woman holds up a sign that said, "Hey Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain." Yes, she really held up that sign. She really did. Proudly, too. Later, a guy told her that it wasn't playing all that well online. But leaders in this modern Democrat Party can't just condemn the sign and leave it at that. Oh no, they've got to blame somebody else, someone on the right. The bane of their existence. No, not Trump this time. No, someone more dangerous. Someone that's more of an existential threat to their power. Who could that be? Who? How about a free-thinking conservative black woman? The vice chair for rules for the Virginia Democrats, Mark Brokowski, tweeted, "What happened in Arlington wasn't just about a meeting. It was about the climate Winsome Sears is creating, one where contempt is currency and neighbors are turning against each other. Spanberger for Virginia is running on something stronger, a Virginia where we solve problems, not invent enemies." And he has a Substack. Maybe we should read it. Mark my words. 2 climates, 1 choice for Virginia. Sears thrives on division. Spanberger builds trust. Arlington showed us what's at stake. Might regret this, but we're going to read it. It was supposed to be a school board meeting, a night for Arlington officials to vote on student policy. Instead, it turned into something darker. Before Winsome Sears spoke, a sign appeared outside, not just hostile, but echoing the ugly bigotry of Virginia's Jim Crow past. That kind of language has no place in our Commonwealth. Let's be clear. That sign was wrong. Full stop. It targeted Sears in a way that was offensive and unacceptable. But condemning the sign does not mean ignoring the climate that allowed it to appear. And that climate is fueled by the politics of grievance Sears has chosen to run on, where hostility doesn't whisper in the shadows, but shows up in the bold letters for everyone to see. This is the politics of contempt, a strategy that teaches Virginians to fear their neighbors and see each other as enemies. And it leads to moments like Arlington, where hate doesn't bother hiding anymore. Sears has shown us what kind of campaign she's running. It isn't about roads, jobs, or schools. It's grievance politics, plain and simple, teaching Virginians to resent, who not to trust, who to turn against. And when campaigns talk like that, people follow the cue. They feel emboldened to put hostility on display. That's how contempt moves from the fringe into the mainstream. This isn't by accident. It's escalation by design. Her campaign thrives on keeping Virginians angry and on edge. Tension isn't treated as a problem to solve, it's the fuel. Now look at Abigail Spanberger. She's running on something completely different. Pragmatism, inclusion, competence. She isn't chasing culture wars. She's talking about governing. Spanberger talks about what actually matters day to day: healthcare families can afford, strong public schools, and an economy that reaches every community. While Sears turns school board meetings into political theater, Spanberger focuses on strengthening public schools so every child can thrive. Where Sears casts politics as a battlefield, Spanberger treats it as a public service. Sears thrives on distrust. Spanberger earns trust by doing the work. At the end of the day, this election isn't about two candidates, it's about two climates. One climate, Sears feeds on division. It makes contempt acceptable, excuses hostility, and leaves Virginians less safe and less stable. The other, Spanberger's, is about solutions. It builds trust instead of tearing it down. It treats people with dignity instead of suspicion. It sees our schools as places of learning, our neighborhoods as places of belonging, and our Commonwealth as a place where families can thrive. The Arlington meeting was a glimpse of where Sears would take us. The choice is whether that becomes Virginia's future or whether we demand something better. Virginia has seen this before. We know exactly where it leads, and we are not going back. So both the Substack and the tweet basically just blamed Wiinsome Sears, the black woman, for a racist sign by a white woman at the lefty rally. Well, he got ratioed on this, like this tweet. So let me get this straight. A male Virginia Democrat blames a black woman for the racism of a white progressive female. Unreal. And this one, the only thing between the United States and its first black female governor is a liberal white woman who preaches the importance of DEI. So this so perfectly tracks. And of course, there's a lot of insults, calling people dumb. One knows what a woman is and the other doesn't, and that's all that matters. Nice Forrest Gump meme. This guy, Joe, at Abolish the MSM, he tweeted, "Do you want your daughters to be exposed to boys in her bathroom or girls or a locker room? Do you want your daughter to have to share a shower with a boy or a man for that matter? How can you look at your daughter in the eye and say, 'Honey, I'm okay with this'? Disgusting." Oh, it's worse than that. There is a super creepy looking kind of guy, allegedly, that apparently in Virginia, they call that a woman, and he has access to your daughters in locker rooms. There's a story on that if you search the internet. It is absolutely disgusting. This person said it was about showing Virginia who today's Democrats really are. So, there we go. Libtard, can you spell ratio? So this is what's going. Oh, that tweet. I went through this earlier, and you had the cow or the whatever animal that is pooping. That's disgusting. Blame the victim. This is genius. Yeah, this is not a good look for the Democrats. They just have to hope this story doesn't pick up steam. Maybe it has. Well, that's all I have. What do you think about it? Leave your comments in the comment section. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. So long, everybody.